What's going on, guys? Crypto Renegade here for you. In today's video, I'm going to give you my #1 secret to trading crypto profitably. Believe me, you do not want to miss this one. Alright guys, welcome back. So I have a few examples of things that I'm going to show you today on really the #1 secret that I am able to trade and look at certain crypto projects and get in early and very profitably. So we're going to dive into that. But real quick, as you can see on my screen, this is my newly designed website, bitcoinlockup.com. It's still being revamped, it's still being redesigned, but check it out. I'm going to have exclusive content there in the next few weeks, and major rollouts in Q1 and Q2. And I'm trying to shift my focus more towards my own content, my own website, and having a little bit more freedom and control. So just keep that in mind, bitcoinlockup.com. If anything ever happens to me, that's where you can find me. As you can see at the top, you can get all my socials, free ebook, all that kind of stuff. Now that's out of the way, let's dive in. Before I click onto the chart screens that I have 3 examples of specific coins that I want to go over, and I'm not going to drag you through the whole video before I reveal my #1 secret, but I want to tell you what the secret is and then sort of illustrate it with specific examples of what I've done and what I'm even still currently doing. My hat that I'm wearing may be an example or a clue of that. So the #1 secret, and I'm going to give you a few others, but the #1 secret that I have to being profitable when trading and investing in crypto is just one word, and that word is discipline. Now, before you click off and you think like, oh, I already know what that is, or blah, 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 whatever, like, let me give you some concrete examples of what I mean, of what discipline and patience does, and what it can do to change your life if you have the fortitude, if you have the will, if you have, again, the discipline to go against your emotions, go against your fear, greed, FUD, all of that kind of stuff. So I'm going to start with the #1 example, which is my oldest example, and then I'm going to give you 2 very relevant and recent examples of coins and just a few things I drew up on a chart just to do this sort of as a quick educational video of my personal experience when it comes to trading crypto. Obviously, the first thing that we're looking at here is Tezos. Now, Tezos is a coin. You obviously know this is a coin that I love. This is a coin that I've been in for a very long time. If you're unfamiliar with the coin, I'll leave some links down to some resources and some older videos below, but it's great fundamentals. It's cheaper, faster, in my opinion, better than Ethereum, and it's one of those competitors. Again, I wouldn't necessarily say it's similar to AVAX or similar to Solana or some of the other Ethereum killer coins, but this is something that's been around for a long time and is very different and unique in the way that it does things, and of course is already proof of stake, which makes it more efficient. So what I wanted to kind of go over on the chart here is in terms of discipline and in terms of patience. For those that don't know, this was a huge coin. In fact, in terms of the ICO, back when there were ICOs in 2017, this was at the time, #1 ICO that you could possibly get. Like, this was the largest, it got the most funds, it was the most distributed, it was the most fair, and obviously it promised the most things. Now, I personally did not get in at the ICO specifically. It wasn't on my radar, to be perfectly honest with you. I wait for it to hit exchanges, I wait for it to do a little bit more research, and in some cases where I'm a little bit unsure about the coin, I do a lot of fundamental deep dive research, weigh the pros and cons, and if you spend as much time learning and studying and focusing on crypto projects, comment down below if you want me to do a video where I give you a tutorial on how I do fundamental research and actually how I vet or deep dive projects. Let me know, otherwise I'll just move along. But getting back to the point here, this was a coin that had an ICO price of 50 cents. Now, there was an accumulation range where sort of everyone who got in on the ICO, there's a lot of choppiness here with people selling it off, and it finally, this kind of like is right around Bitcoin in the end of 2017 where it just went sideways and then it did a full capitulation. It was in this capitulation sort of newer accumulation range, which was a range between, I would say between 20 cents at its lowest all the way up to about 80 cents at its highest. Now, that's still relatively cheap considering the ICO price was at 50 cents. I bought all the way through here, and for reference, this bar that you see here, this arrow pointing, is showing 129 days. So there was over 4 whole months, which is a long time, 4 months of accumulation during this project, and I literally just stacked and stacked and stacked and stacked. There was a lot of fear around this time. There was a lot of uncertainty around the project, which is represented here in the low price. Now, this is where I swung heavy, 3 to 4 months of accumulation. Again, 129 days, over 4 months long of buying it low. Now, at the time, I knew that this was going to be a long-term game. You know, you have Ethereum. At the time, XRP was really big. You have a lot of these coins that have a lot of user growth, a lot of user adoption, and this really had an uphill battle, but I saw the forest through the trees, and I really wanted to, I believe, and to this day, I still hold all of the Tezos. I didn't sell one Tezos that I bought during this range here, and it's actually still staking on my Ledger Nano X. But I wanted to point out that this was 129 days where people thought it was dead, where people didn't like it, where people thought it was worthless. This is the point of max opportunity, when you have to do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. And again, I had conviction in the project, so this is where I started to buy it. Now, I will admit, in terms of a trading aspect versus an investing aspect, this chart on trading-wise is a complete nightmare. There's no edge. There's no risk to reward. It has tweezer tops. It's very, very difficult to trade this chart. In fact, I'd say that this would be, in terms of trading, the most frustrating crypto chart I've ever seen. In terms of investing, I have a longer time horizon. Now, I did another bar from about right here where I bought it, and it's at about 1,111 days, which is 3+ years since I've been holding my coins at a cost basis of approximately 55 cents around the ICO price. So discipline, you know, really believing. And the way that I was able to sort of justify this and mentally get over the fact that this isn't quite performing as well as some other coins that I could have made money sooner on. This is a good lesson, like obviously getting in on Solana earlier and some other things. This really took some fortitude and some patience. So having seen what some of these other amazing coins have done, why would I sell now? Now, technically, as of shooting this video today, it's at $5.12, which is roughly a 10x. For me to hold on as long as I've been holding on to this coin and sell it now at only a 10x, especially when it's not even at an all-time high, to me is not my strategy. I'm legitimately holding out for my first target of $25, potentially $50, or $100+ on this project. Now, if I have to wait another 3 to 5 years to do that, that's fine. And the reason that's fine for me is, 1, my cost basis is extremely low. 2, I'm earning interest on it right now by staking on my cold storage and delegating it. So for me, it's sort of a set it and forget it. And I'm going to be patient, and I'm not going to sell till it hits those targets. If it goes to 0, that's fine as well. I've already built in the risk around this. And because the price and the cost basis was so low, I'm prepared for that. But again, I obviously don't think that's going to happen. I do think that Tezos will have its day in the sun. There's already new adoption. There's already new, they've really focused on promotion and marketing. NFTs got a huge boost over here in this range right here. So again, I still have strong conviction. And this was my number one example of what discipline and really setting it and forgetting. And this is why, again, why I focus a lot on hardware wallets. Hardware wallets to most people are a pain in the ass. So if you put something on a hardware wallet, you delegate it to staking, it's locked up. It's really hard to get emotional, to unstake it, to move it to an exchange, to then trade it. Like, it's a hassle, right? So the point here being, if you buy something low, which I did, I bought at the low price when everyone thought it was dead, and you hold it and you're patient for a long period of time, I planted the seed early, and I will do a harvest once it hits my targets, and depending on where we're at in the overall Bitcoin and crypto market cycles. There's 2 other quick examples, because I don't want this video to go on too long, that I want to give you that are very recent and that are very relevant as of shooting this. The one that's most relevant right now here is Illuvium. Now, again, this is a gaming NFT token. This is a coin that I do own, just again letting you know. I drew up a couple different things. Now, by the time it hit exchanges back in April, this was, as you can see here, is the max point of opportunity to buy is in this low accumulation range, which again is in the range of approximately $10 all the way up to $90. Now, some would say that's a pretty big range. I agree, but that went on for 104 days, which is over 90 days. That's 3+ months of buying something and being patient. Now, that's the big thing that most people don't realize is being patient is the key to being profitable. Discipline, not getting emotional, not getting triggered, not panic selling. Discipline. Now, to be perfectly honest, this didn't get on my radar. I was a little bit too late. I actually bought it during this consolidation range, which ranged between, I would say, we'll call it $400 all the way up to $600. I have an average buy price. I was sort of buying and playing and earning and testing out the platform and such. I have an average buy price, I would say, about between $500 and $550 that I bought on this. That again went on for another 65 days before it pushed another leg up, and it hit an all-time high of just shy of $2,000. Now, this is a low supply coin. I think there's only 10 million total coins, and there's only 7 million in circulation. Now, the reason I'm bringing up this coin now and why it's relevant today is right now we're at a major support area, which is around an emotional kind of a round number, like $1,000. Now, it's showing relative weakness because even though it is holding support, I just checked the Discord group on Illuvium, and there was a massive hack, I shouldn't say hack. There was a massive vulnerability security flaw where they paused and they saw a potential attack coming, and there's a potential sell-off, and there's a potential capitulation that may or may not be coming. Let's see how strong that community really is. Now, for me as a trader, because my average buy price, we'll say, is at $500 to $550, I'm really not interested in rebuying this unless it drops down even further. So again, this is something that I plan on holding for a while, and I like to do personally swing trading. To me, it's safer. I have discipline and I have patience, and if you just do the right type of timing and you kind of watch these market trends and inflections and you're kind of plugged into those communities and those Discord groups, you really can kind of follow what's happening. But again, no one predicts the future. No one saw a vulnerability hack coming. No one saw a security flaw coming. These are the risks that you take with crypto, and I'm a huge risk taker. I love the risk. No risk, no reward. But I digress. Right now, I'm looking for an opportunity for this support area, which is massive, to break if people panic and they sell, at which point, if it falls back into this range that I originally bought in, I'll load up some more, because I do think long term this has a high threshold and this has a very high potential for not only NFTs and metaverse and gaming tokens, but this is, in my opinion, a very fundamentally good project. So I'm going to leave it there. Now, here's my third and final coin or example that I wanted to give you. Again, this is Remark. If you've watched my channel for any amount of time, you know that Remark is one of my favorite NFT tokens. They have a singular app. They have metaverses coming. This is a new project. So with that said, it's built on Kusama, which is tied to Polkadot, one of my favorite ecosystems. And again, I want to give you a perspective as far as what discipline is and what sort of the long-term vision of certain projects are. Now, some people are in crypto here to try to get rich quick. That's not my MO. That's not what I do. I love being profitable. I love making money, and I love spotting trends, getting in on projects early, and selling them when they hit my targets. That's how you accumulate wealth faster. But some people don't have discipline. They don't understand their own emotions, and you basically just need to do the opposite. That's another secret. If everyone's rushing for the exit, that's an opportunity at max pain for you to buy something that will eventually recover. Again, you don't know if it will for sure, but there's a very good chance that it will. So I actually got in on this project because I've been doing Kusama research and Polkadot research and Parachain research and all that kind of stuff. If you've watched my channel for any amount of time, you know that I've kind of been ahead of the curve on that specifically. I actually got in on this at around $5 on Remark. It went all the way up to $65, $64-ish at its peak. And again, this chart looks very similar to Illuvium. Now, the difference is there's no reported hack, there's no reported issues with Remark. This is just, in my opinion, a reflection of capital inflows and outflows based on Bitcoin's price, which is still roughly $46,000, and we're still at resistance on the 200-day moving average. Now, with all that said, my point with this is it's still holding on to major support, and I have a long time horizon for this project. Now, this one is the newest project out of all of them, out of the three that I've talked about today. This one actually didn't hit exchanges until October. It's only been, during this range, this was obviously the new listing price discovery range, which was about 39 days before it made new leg up. Now it's coming back to major support, and it's still holding on to that support. Now, if this again drops down below sub $20, I'm going to reload the boat. This is another low supply coin, which means it has utility. There's a lot of gaming. There's a lot of adoption, tradables, collectibles. This is like a new generation of NFTs. So this is very unique. It's not just one of your run-of-the-mill NFTs that you're seeing, but this is an actual infrastructure play, one that I personally believe in. And of course, I like Kusama, I like Polkadot, so I see with this one. This one, honestly, is going to be a long-term hold for me. I may sell some if it hits, triple digits or quadruple digits. Just, again, new projects, you got to be patient even in times like this where it's showing relative weakness. And just having your targets, as I talked about in previous videos, predefine your targets. Do not enter a trade, do not buy anything, do not do anything until you've defined at what point you're going to take profit, and if the trade or the investment goes against your plan, when you cut it off, and when you just either cut your losses, or maybe you're still technically in profit, but you want to cut off to preserve your capital. Also very smart. You need to have a game plan before you make every trade. And that's another secret that a lot of people don't know, is making a plan before you enter. That way you're not swayed by emotions. You're not swayed by Twitter. You're not swayed by other people. You're not panicking. You're very level-headed, because the chances of you making a mistake when you've made a premeditated plan of what you're going to do with a certain coin or a certain trade is going to make your life a whole lot happier, a whole lot easier. I went on a few little tangents there, but I hope this brought some people value. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video here. If you want to click on the screen to watch my video, what my ultimate price prediction for Bitcoin will be in the year 2022. It's another chart-based video, so if you like it, you probably will like the way that I quantify or I sort of rationalize my reasoning for what that price prediction is. So I will see you guys in that video now. Crypto Renegade out.